Hey everybody, it's Michelle.
And it's Julie, the new dog mom.
The new dog mom.
Well, I'm an old dog mom, meaning I already have one.
But it's a newborn.
Yes. Welcome to the Emerald City, everyone. And to the home of the new little guy named Cash.
So cute.
Yeah. We put out his picture on social media and asked for names, and we got a plethora
Yeah,
of
we did.
people responding. Bandit, Roscoe, Butch. Chance. I know, I like that one. We narrowed it down to, I think, the top 5 or something. And the ones I thought were going to win didn't win. So he looks like a cash dollar bill, yo.
Dollar bill, Cash App. Of course, he has 100 nicknames already.
Yeah. Hopefully we just have to get him used to his own name first.
Cashew.
Cash App, that was a new one.
Cash App. What were you calling him earlier?
Benjamins. Ends. We can call him Ends.
This
Benjamins.
poor little guy. Yeah.
Oh, well, Harlow's doing well with him. Harlow, the diva chihuahua, seems like she's getting a little bit comfortable, not quite as growly or anything. She's actually kind of protective, so that's good. Well, enough about my surrogate child. This is as close as I'm going to get.
It's a lot, though.
It is.
Yeah.
I know he's kind of kept me up the last couple of nights. You would not even think that someone this tiny, I mean, he's like 1.5 pounds maybe, would make so much noise. But he sounds like, like he's wailing. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep him at bay here. I'm not sure. I got him on my lap right now with his little bone.
Well, he's probably not in the stage of his life where he has to worry about body image yet.
Probably not.
And
but
actually,
he's in a good place, though, to get positive
reinforcement
for that.
I know.
Yeah.
Even Harlow, she's a very confident little chihuahua that did not have any body issue.
Okay, I just need to let you know that he just peed on me.
Hey, I just got that blanket out of the wash.
Oh my gosh, it's not even on the blanket. He's on my leg. So he got my jeans.
Luckily, he's so small. There's hardly anything there.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. We'll just keep going.
Hopefully he doesn't leave you any other presents.
Yeah, no, but that's why. Anyways. Okay, so, let's dive in.
Let's dive.
I'm actually looking forward. I was telling Julie, I'm looking forward to this episode because it's been a little minute since it's just been the two of us.
Right. We've been recording with lots of different guests, which has been awesome.
Yeah.
We did record an episode a couple weeks ago and we both finished it and went, okay, that was just dumb. We just were like, we didn't love it at all. So that one never hit the airways.
Yeah, it's probably not going to.
No.
Yeah, probably not.
I actually ran it by someone who I was talking to, and they had a very different take on what we were trying to accomplish with the episode. So it was probably a good thing that
Good practice, though.
Yeah. I like that. Good practice. See, always a positive thing, positive reinforcement.
Yep, that's me.
Gotta love that. So, Michelle,
yeah,
where do you want to start with this body image episode?
I feel like it's such a big thing nowadays, especially, I sound old when I say that, nowadays, but especially with social media and technology and filters and pictures and all the expectations that are put on people, not just women, men and women, in regard to body image and how big that can be for people.
Can you imagine being a 15-year-old girl?
No.
In today's day and age? Mm-mm. I mean, I feel like it was kind of traumatizing when we were kids.
Yeah.
And we didn't have social media. We didn't have, cell phones. We didn't have any of that kind of stuff. So nowadays it just feels like everybody's so much more exposed to.
We just got to be who we were. Physically and just like how we went about our daily everyday stuff.
But there was still bullying and people being mean and all of that. It was just different, I think, than you kind of see these days. That's
true.
So when do you feel like that's something that with body image that you had identified for yourself when you were a kid? Was there anything that you remember that changed how you looked at things?
So I'm the youngest of 8, and the last 3 of us were girls.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Yeah, the 3 little girls. And yeah, there was a point in time, I was like middle school, my sister was in high school, and then my older sister was just a little bit older than that. But we were referred to as the butt sisters.
Why?
Or thunder thighs.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Because, mama's got the junk in her trunk. I mean, I do.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Always have. And back then, it didn't like bother me. It wasn't something that was terrible. I think back now and I wonder, really, like, did that affect me? I don't really know. It was just kind of funny. We would go along with it, whatever. But yeah, that was probably really the only thing that really is stand out
in your mind.
In my mind, because we're definitely the pear-shaped apple bottom
jeans
women,
boots with the fur, girls. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. What about you?
I didn't have any of the junk in the trunk kind of thing going on. I developed really early. So that was probably a huge issue, I think, when I was younger, because when I, started, I think, wearing a bra in 3rd grade or something, and then getting your period so early, and then you're starting to mature, but you look a lot older than you are.
Yeah.
And I can recall one very specific thing that had happened, which I directly think affected how I looked at my body and everything. And that, I think I was about 12 or 13 years old and had a bathing suit on, was getting ready to go down to the lake. And I came into the kitchen and my dad said, "You look like a streetwalker. Go put something on." And I know, but it was a very kind of a judgy household, really. He was very judgy anyway, but I think from then on out, I wore a t-shirt over my bathing suit, like all the way until all the way until I was an adult, I would say.
Wow.
And then didn't really wear 2-piece bathing suits much after that until, in the last 5-10 years.
When we went to New Orleans.
Yeah.
I remember you were saying that you never really, you had a 2-piece there when we went. Because
yes.
I was like,
I was very liberated.
Girl. Yeah, you gotta show your stuff. Get with it.
Which I so was not used to doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that was kind of a pivotal moment for me going into the teenage years.
For sure.
Yeah. And we went to school with uniforms. So there really wasn't a lot of differentiation between people per se. So grade school all the way up till high school, we had uniforms. And then in high school, it's like we didn't have a lot of money. I think I had like 2 or 3 different pairs of pants and a couple shirts. I didn't have a lot to work with. So I just kind of mixed and matched everything that I had and was very nondescript, kind of like now, black pants. Black pants. And I think I had clogs or something. And then senior year, I was a cheerleader. So of course you have your the little panties and the little skirt, and I was cute little, in shape thing. So it wasn't like I was having trouble with any of that or things fitting, but the bathing suit thing has always been kind of an issue, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, again, I think, because I do have, back to what we were referred to as the thunder thighs, I do have that going on. I got a booty for sure. But, so being in a bathing suit has never been something that I love to do.
Shopping for them was even more fun.
But I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
It's what I got. And yeah.
But now you're a grown woman. I mean, it's like, it's probably taken time to get to that point. At least I know for me. Yeah. It's taken a lot of time to get to that point where you go through so much with your body as you're growing up, and then you have babies and you gain weight.
That's
and you
when I wasn't cool with it. I was cool with it prior, like before I got married. Right. Even though I always use this gesture with my hand, and I have to like describe it since people are just listening, but I would put up my thumb and say, that's my size. I'm not like, if you hold up your pinky, that's not me. Okay. I'm the thumb, so I'm thick. I've always been thicker, really my whole life. I can be, less and less pounds, even when I've lost weight, but I'm still thick. But prior to having babies, I was cool with it and comfortable. But yes, Once you start having babies, for whatever reason, your body changes a lot, and that makes things kind of different.
Everything just kind of moves around.
Everything does move around. So, yeah.
So I think we even see that now. I mean, I can think of people that we know, and myself included. It's like you're always your own worst critic and finding things that are wrong. Or it was funny, I was thinking about this today. When people compliment you, it's like, that's a sign of someone who is not super secure with themselves, with their body. They get a nice compliment and they kind of disregard the compliment, or, oh gosh, no, you're just catching me on a good day, whatever. But I also think that response, or how people respond sometimes, is because they're trying to be humble. They're not going, yeah, I'm a badass, I'm so cute. You don't hear that kind of thing when people get a compliment. The best thing to do is just say, wow, thank you. That is so nice of you to say.
Yep.
But it's taken me a long time to be able to do that.
Really?
Yes. I always try to kind of get away from that because I don't know, I've always felt a little uncomfortable or
own that shit.
Yeah. Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
It's like, as I've gotten older, I'm much better now. But as I was younger and stuff, you'd be like, yeah, thanks. Whatever, you just feel uncomfortable about it.
Because there's all kinds of things we know about body image just based on experiences. But I did do a little bit of research in regard to this.
Okay.
And they talk about having four types of body image.
Okay.
One being perceptual, which of course I think is what we're talking about here, how you view yourself.
Okay.
Which really isn't always accurate.
Very true.
Yeah. And the mixed messages, like you were talking about what your dad said when you were in the bathing suit, the mixed messages we get over time can eventually lead you to lose touch with your actual body image.
Right. Because you think that you're doing so well with whatever it is you're doing, whether you're eating well, eating healthy, working out, doing whatever. But when you see yourself, you don't see all of the progress that you're making.
Yeah.
And kind of going back to that comment of my dad's. Now think about that. That was a hell of a long time ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah. So in all fairness to him, it was a shitty thing to say, but he also was probably operating off of lots of judgments and things that he was raised with. And that goes back to his growing up years and the conservative nature of their household and everything, because that's kind of how his side of the family is. And so that's my guess is that's where it's come from, because I never, ever, ever heard anything like that from my mom.
Right.
My mom was never like that. She was always very positive. We just ate healthy. She did deprive us of sweets. I mean, this is going to sound silly, but I seriously had this complete obsession with chocolate when I was a kid.
You still do?
I do. Well, I think that now it's by choice. By then it was more like I couldn't have it.
Right.
And so she would do things like get carob. I don't know if anybody knows what carob is, but like carob chips and pretend they were chocolate chips and make cookie. And I'd just be like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I don't know the difference. I'm not eating that crap. When we were older, my dad was really into ice cream. So there was always ice cream around. But when we were kids, it was all about just eating super healthy. And so I craved a lot of those things. I can remember taking walks down to the neighborhood store and I'd have like $1 and I'd go buy like 9 or 10 crackle bars. Like, it's embarrassing to say that you could actually
crackle bars.
You remember crackle bars?
Oh yeah. They
and
still got them.
I would just hold on to them. And so if I wanted something, I would know where it is, and it was in my room, and nobody was going to get it but me.
I love that.
Well, yes and no, but it's like I worked around the rules.
Sure.
And would do, things like that. Is that healthy? I don't know.
I mean,
I think it's a kid
taking care of yourself.
Yeah. It's a kid who's gone, I'll be damned if I'm going to have carob. I'm going to have chocolate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think from a sweets perspective, it's definitely turned into like I wouldn't say obsession. I'm much better now than I just want peanut butter balls, and they're made with very healthy things. So,
yeah.
But if you throw a hot fudge sundae at me, I'm not going to turn it away.
Right.
For the most part.
I'm not much of a sweets person. I like sweets, but I don't really crave them much.
What about German chocolate cake? Oh my God.
I mean, it's good, but yeah.
I'd have that any day of the week.
So 4 types of body image.
Yeah.
So perceptual, how we see ourselves.
And that's how we see ourselves, like in in our vision, like when we're looking in the mirror?
Literally, how
Okay.
you view yourself, which isn't always accurate
Correct.
based on some of the things we get over time. So another one is your affective body image, which is how you feel about the way you look. So, and that reflects either satisfaction or dissatisfaction, weight, shape, different aesthetics like that. So
Yeah. We were recording with someone a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying sometimes that they've woken up and I'm fat, I feel ugly, I feel like, a big slug, whatever. And it's like, that's a person with really good body image. But everybody, I guess my point is everybody has their thing, or they have their day when they're just not feeling it.
yeah, isn't it? I always feel like when you're having the worst hair day, everybody tells you how great your hair looks.
I know, it's usually always right before you get it cut.
Because that's how you're feeling about it though. And you know what I'm saying? So yeah, effective is how we feel about different aspects.
Do you think that having the feedback from the people in your life, like your friends, like when we go out, when we go do stuff, I'm always like, okay, guys, does this look good? I'm always checking with you guys to see what you think. And you'll tell me if you think, oh no, don't wear those shoes, wear those shoes or whatever. Right. But do you think that affects people early on too? Like their siblings maybe saying something, or not just their parents?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't ever recall really having to deal with that, even though I had 7 siblings, but I'm sure there are those that have brothers that maybe bully or tell them they're fat girls, or different things like that. I don't know, but that would definitely.
I would think so. Yeah. Mary is a great example. Of course, here we go again. But she had, her brothers were awful growing. They were terrible. They were so cruel to her in every aspect that you can think of, the way she looked, what she wore, everything. It was awful. So it's surprising to me that she's actually grown up to be so confident in herself and has raised these confident girls, because she actually took that information and kind of flipped it.
Yeah.
But you don't see that very often. Yeah. You see how it kind of plays into how people live their life, when they get older, if they're not careful.
Yeah. Good for her.
I know. They would call her Buffy, and same thing about her thighs and her legs. And she was a gymnast, so she had, she had strong legs and everything like that. But no, they were not very nice.
Typically when folks are putting other people down, did I just say folks?
Yeah. Are they whippersnappers?
Typically when people are putting others down, it's because of their own insecurities.
But when you've got guys doing it, they're just, her brothers, they were just being assholes.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Nothing more to say about that.
But at her expense.
Just being assholes. Yeah.
Yeah. At her expense, they were being assholes. It pisses me off even to this day, because I don't think they even see what they did, or that there was a problem.
Yeah. So another one is cognitive body image, which is, what do you think that is?
It's the thoughts and beliefs maybe about your body, and that you're spending a lot of time thinking about it, like how you exercise, the calories eaten. I know that I've definitely been in that arena myself.
Yeah.
Now I just focus on the exercise part of it, just getting healthy. And along with that's going to come the good arms.
Well, and I think the key there is, as far as the cognitive part, is how much you're thinking about it, what you're eating, how much you're exercising, how many calories did I burn, how many calories did I intake, what clothes would look good to cover, what should I, just like all the things,
like
all the time.
Everything you're thinking about. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
And then the fourth one is behavioral.
Okay.
So,
well, that has to go probably back to gym time, calorie counting.
Yep.
Oh, and another one, like with today's social media, like photoshopping or filters.
Yes.
People putting filters on their pictures to the point where they almost don't even.
Yeah. Correcting the uncorrectable.
Right. Correcting the uncorrect. That's a good way to look at it.
When it's probably been about 7 years ago or so, when filters were first, and introduced. They weren't really filters at that point. They just were apps that you could use within photos and things like that you could like blur out blur out the lines, like the smile lines around your eyes.
Really?
I remember doing that. Yeah, because you could.
That's like Photoshop, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they would have these apps, and yeah, you could just like, and it would just blur them out, so you couldn't really see the lines. So that was before filters, but yeah. So, I mean, hence all the things that with technology that, you know.
Well, you look at the cover of any magazine, any,
Yep.
women's magazine or just magazine in general. And I'm sorry, but I doubt the people that are on those covers have unaltered pictures.
Right.
I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe there are some people. Okay, fine. You're looking at me like, no, probably not.
They don't. Martha Stewart how old is she? 80. She was recently on, the cover of something.
But she said that she doesn't have filters. That's what it said.
Maybe not filters, but there's other airbrushing. There are things that they use. I am telling you, she does not look that flawless at 80.
Okay.
Which is fine. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but everything in media now, especially with media and television, magazines, all that stuff, it is all enhanced.
Well, the problem too with a lot of that, like here I'm sitting questioning that, of course they said she wasn't using filters, so that's got to be the real picture of her. I didn't even really go any deeper than that. Mm-hmm. She looks good.
She looks great.
Yeah. And she looks healthy and everything. But to your point, she probably, maybe there are some
lighting. There's a lot of different things that you can do to still make it look better than it is. And trust me, I do it too. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Well, that's not photoshopping your face, having good lighting,
Yeah.
That's just having good lighting.
Have you seen my room and where I put my makeup on?
Yeah. Where you take all your Instagram reel photos and stuff.
Yep. It's great lighting.
Great lighting in there. I'm glad to hear that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the behaviors that we're talking about. So photoshopping, but I have seen that in the extreme to the point where you really look at the picture and you're like, who is that? You can't tell of who it is. And I don't know. I like those really subtle, like ones that just take make the background look kind of, soft or whatever, or they just like, it's like a
the
thing
portrait mode.
Yeah. Where you like slide your finger across and the whole thing changes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's not like you're taking one person and making them look different.
Right. Therein with the filters and all of those things, it's interesting in regard to why has it come to that? And when you think about negative body image,
what do you think triggers it besides what we've been talking about?
Yeah, we were kind of talking about it a little bit, but cultural things, I'm sure, family, friends, what you get can be positive or negative, which is what we've already been talking about.
Right.
Negative, like you mentioned with your dad, positive, like you mentioned with your friends. Mm-hmm. And it can be coming from all of those spaces, but media, family, friends.
Mm-hmm. I think school.
All of those things can influence a person's body image and can encourage people from a very young age to believe, what is the ideal body.
Right. Or skin color or hair color.
And it's often an unnatural one.
Right.
That's what I guess what we were just talking about with when we were talking about Martha Stewart and all of that media and television. It's not natural.
It's so funny. I was scrolling, doing my scroll, whatever, through Instagram. And I don't even remember where it came from, but there was this girl who she must have a site or something, but she was focusing on all the different types of poses that you could take. Like instead of posing this way, you pose this way, and all these different silly, stupid poses that she was doing to make herself look more, I don't know, put together or, more sexy or whatever. And they looked really stupid when she was doing the pose. But then when you saw the picture, I was like, oh, that looks kind of good. So yeah, instead of standing there head onto the camera,
it's just so much a part of our everyday life now.
Right.
And the fashion, I come from the beauty industry, beauty and fashion, unfortunately, I think sets an unhealthy example sometimes because of what they use to promote those products, whether it's clothes
Or the models.
Or yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
The models that they use to promote the clothes and, how they look from using the beauty products and different things like that. Though I do think that taking care of yourself is part of that. The exposure we're getting from the promotion of that
Right.
is more, unnatural, I think, than what the reality is.
Well, the beauty products themselves are targeting to specific insecurities, really, or things that people want to address, whether it be, like we always talk about the night repair, because Eileen's, swears by it. She bathes in it practically. Well, and look at her skin. So my mom uses that stuff, and
I use it. I love it.
Yeah. She's almost 90 and look at her skin. So it does work.
Sure.
But everybody has their version of what is aged skin. Like Michelle's is going to look way better than mine because she takes care of hers way better than mine. But you're very simple in your message too, which I kind of appreciate. It's like, you wash, you cleanse and tone and done. That's
cleanse,
it.
tone, and moisturize.
Yep.
Just do it every night and every morning.
And then you're good.
It doesn't have to be like
super
$1 million
complicated.
or really,
We're going to do on a complete side note, beauty hacks, hacks and tricks, kind of a fun episode we have coming up that is going to talk a little bit about this, but we won't really refer to that in regard to body image right now.
Right.
Okay.
No, we'll save that for that one.
Yeah.
Tips, tricks, and trends.
Ticks.
Coming soon.
Ticks, trips, and coming soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're all good body image tips, tricks, and trends. So
some things too that can have an impact, obviously, on body image can be accidents or long-term health conditions.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That skin
also
conditions
affects how you feel about yourself.
Yes.
Have you ever watched Dr. Pimple Popper?
Oh my gosh, that is the most disgusting.
I love that show.
So let me tell you, I've only seen it when I've been up here talking to you. You had it on your TV that one time. I was like,
I think it was to keep Harlow comfortable.
What the actual F is happening right now on the TV? It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
People who love to, I don't know. It is really gross. But she's a dermatologist who deals with all of these really weird, kind of funky skin conditions, and these are things that have really heavily impacted people and their self-esteem and so when you see what she's able to do for them, it's kind of cool. But I mean, some of them are major huge lipomas on their head or on their neck, or they've got them all over their face, or I mean, there's just they've lived with that.
See, listen to me. I'm backpedaling now because I'm talking about how disgusting and gross it is. But you're to what we're talking about right here, body image and the poor people that have to deal with that.
Can you imagine?
Right?
I mean, I cannot even imagine having to go. I mean, I know people go through like eczema, and those are just things I never really had to deal with, and I'm very grateful.
Me too.
Or even acne.
Yeah, acne.
A couple of my kids went through some of that stuff, and it's really hard on their self-esteem, I think.
Mastectomy.
Yes.
Breast cancer.
Yeah.
Limb amputation.
Yeah. And with women in particular, it's like your breasts are such a part of your female psyche.
Identity.
Yeah, your identity. Not to say that you might, you need them or anything like that, but it's definitely something where it directly impacts how you view yourself.
Sure.
I mean, I know people who have had mastectomies and not had the reconstructive, and it definitely has changed how they view life, even to some degrry. But
I
nowadays,
would miss my boobs.
You would?
I would.
Well, you'd get new ones.
I probably would.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Better than the ones I have.
Yeah, a little perkier than the ones that you have now. I know that's not the reason to have a mastectomy,
No.
but I mean there is hope, I guess, that you can kind of get back to some sort of normal and be able to get rid of the cancer. But it's just like anything else. Like think about if you had cancer in your colon. Yeah. And you had to wear one of those coloscopy bags. Yeah. That would be hard to do. That would be hard to deal with. Things like that.
Can you imagine?
No, but I mean, I know people that are in those circumstances, and really it's probably more of how they perceive it or how they handle it makes the difference.
Yep.
Because if it's just like anything else, when someone walks into a room, you can tell the difference between someone who's confident
Yes.
and someone who is not confident.
Right.
And they could walk in on a pair of crutches or, come in with maybe they have an arm amputated or something like that. But it's really how they handle it that probably makes a difference on how well they're received. Because we all know when you have circumstances where someone is in a different place, whether it be a car accident or wherever, or they're in a wheelchair, people don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. Right. They don't know how to act. They start talking louder and it has nothing to do. People just don't know how. So anyway, I do believe that those types of circumstances can directly impact how you feel about yourself. And so
mentally too. I mean, the physical part of it, but then it's, those circumstances that I'm sure have a mental, could wear on your mental well-being as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of that will be dependent upon the people you surround yourself with.
True.
If they are positive people, they're going to be, and then those things become not so important, I would think. I don't know, right now you see where people are into, they're not dealing with that kind of thing. So they're into what the clothes they're wearing, what their hair looks like, their eyelashes, their lip color, their nails. It's like all the stuff that we see as women.
Yeah.
But reality is, if you are in a place where, say you end up going through chemotherapy and you lose all your hair, it's like, would you have an issue with that?
I've thought about this actually, because I have a sister who has, I can never say it right, alopecia. And she has lost a majority of her hair.
Okay.
And she's got some really great wigs.
Okay.
And, but I've asked myself, just because I see what she goes through and how she has dealt with that. And I think to myself, because there are times when I'm thinking, just rock that shit and just leave it, do your makeup, have it great, get some earrings and really great accessories, and don't let it be a thing. Easy to say when you're not the going one doing through it. So yeah, I wonder about that, or if I would get some cool head wraps, And
so if I was going through, like we were talking about, like if we had to, I don't remember when this was, a couple weeks ago, like if we went through something like that and you ended up you were losing your hair. I think we were maybe watching something, it was on a program. I can't remember. Anyway.
We were probably drinking.
No, we weren't, because we don't really do that during the week. Never mind. Anyway, I remember I was watching something, so it must have been on a show. But anyway, the woman started chemo and she was in the shower and her hair was coming out by the handfuls.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
I don't know. But I remember watching this very recently going, oh, shit. It's like, I think I would shave my whole head off.
Firefly Lane.
Maybe that's what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I think I would, because I wouldn't want to like keep pieces of it and like have it not there. And then your head gets cold. So, and it's not a permanent thing, but I think I would probably do some fun wigs or something. Yeah. Try to, I don't know, come up with some ways to make it more positive. I'd make my boys shave their heads. No, I'm kidding. They might anyway, but I wouldn't make Zoe shave her head. She had that alopecia stuff when she was a kid.
Oh, really?
Well, it was more stress induced. I think she talked about it in the anxiety episode. Yeah. But 2 round bald spots that were just perfectly round bald spots. And I discovered it when I was brushing her hair out, and I went, oh my God, what is this? And so it happened twice. And she was absolutely just didn't know what to do with herself, so the way they were, it was, you wore a ponytail, you couldn't see it. So it was fine. It wasn't like we had to figure out ways for her to cover it up. But I'm sure if she'd been losing a lot of it, she would not have gone to school. She wouldn't have done any of that stuff, because she would have been too mortified. And I can understand that, because kids can be freaking cruel. They don't understand. The maturity level's not there. They're mean to kids that are different. Or that don't fit into the societal norms that they're expected to.
It's so sad, really.
I think it's been that way over the course of time.
It's been that way. I know. It's just,
but for different reasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just feels like it's different now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is more external.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I remember kids being just different. Like, you know, they don't have very good hygiene, and they have low self-esteem, and they don't take care of their hair. And they don't take care of themselves really. And I think it's probably their parents don't either.
Mm-hmm.
And they come to school that way. And naturally, they're probably going to be in a situation where they're not fitting into like the normal population because maybe they don't even socialize.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But I mean, I have seen that before.
Yeah.
But I know kids can be pretty cruel.
For sure.
Very, very cruel. So I even had, when I was a kid, I'm trying to think how old I was. I was probably like 7th or 8th grade, and the boys were awful. They were, because I was more chesty, and they were saying, please don't squeeze the Charmin. Now, I don't know what they meant by that, except that to think maybe the Charmin was like soft and squishy. I think about that now, and I would get so embarrassed because it was you could tell it wasn't a nice thing to say, but I wasn't really sure exactly what they were getting at, but I wasn't going to ask. So I just kind of tried to avoid it as much as I could.
Oh.
But yeah, so that was another one.
I never had that problem. I was not gifted that way.
Well, you could call it blessed by the goddess memory or cursed by the goddess.
Sure.
Yeah, I would say cursed when I was a kid. Absolutely. It was not a fun thing at all. I guess when you look at body image issues nowadays, different from when, say, 30 or 40 years ago. And for some reason, I have like teen girls in my head, but the teen girls turn into adult women. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, like you said, boys deal with this stuff too. Yeah. They deal with different.
I remember boys getting picked on. I would see boys get picked on.
But because of body image?
Yeah.
Like because they were bigger or something?
Weirdos.
Oh.
Like just, if they weren't,
the jock or
in gym class. Or I remember this one kid, he was so into dinosaurs, and he used to like literally measure the halls of my elementary school and compare them to sizes of dinosaurs. And I remember that now, but he was picked on. He was different, but he was super smart.
He was really smart. So now he's an adult. He's probably landed some really sweet job.
Yes, actually.
And more than likely has a trophy wife. What is a trophy wife?
If any of my friends from Minnesota are listening, you know who I'm talking about.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, people grow out of it, I guess. That's definitely true. So what are some things people can do? I mean, nowadays, thinking about, well, if we're adult women, but we're around women that are younger than us, who are still kind of in the throes of trying to figure a lot of those things out. What are some of the things that we could do, you have to consciously do differently in order to be able to establish a real positive, message?
For ourselves?
It's for everybody, I would think. It's like if we're women, we're dealing with women who are younger than us or even older than us. I mean, I know I can think of one woman in particular who's around our age who has the most horrific body image issue I've ever seen. Really? And I look at her like when she's talking about things and she's saying so mean. She's so mean to herself. I'm ugly. My nose is big. My hair looks horrible. I don't have any, and I'm saying, and it's been a while since I've been around this person, but I would say, what are you talking about? You look amazing. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't feel good inside. She does not feel good.
Unfortunately, that comes from within and from whatever influences played a role in her feeling that way about herself.
Right.
All of the things that we've just been talking about.
Well, it goes back to when people are young.
Yeah, that's what I mean. In school, or it could have been in a relationship. It could have been a lot of different things. Unfortunately, that has done that damage, getting through that or working through that and moving through that. Really, because you just said no matter how much you were saying all these things, she didn't.
No, she wasn't.
You have to believe it yourself.
It was painful to listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, painful in not that I'm in pain, but painful me feeling pain for her because she is a very pretty woman and she's very well put together. And on the outside, no one would ever
Right.
know that there is something going on there. But when you have a conversation, just very blatantly, like open about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I remember just feeling, gosh, this is really not good.
I think somebody that has a positive body image, I mean, we can see that negative is what you're talking about,
Right.
but somebody that has a positive body image is going to be someone that accepts and appreciates their body.
Yeah.
They probably have a broad concept of what beauty is or could be.
Right. Maybe a more evolved.
Yes. Yeah,
There's
broad.
there's
That's
my
what
word.
I meant, I guess, by broad. Yeah. Somebody that's going to take steps to care for that, their body and their appearance in ways that are going to feel healthy and fulfilling for them.
So what would be the difference between someone who's doing that in a healthy way and someone who's not doing it in a healthy way?
And you have to strive to have a good relationship with your body.
With yourself, yeah.
And yourself and your body in that way. I think that this is going to be kind of controversial.
Not controversial.
Not controversial, but controversial. Well, let me just say this. I think somebody that's going to take steps to care for their body and appreciate feeling healthy and fulfilling, of course, that's going to look different for, honestly, it's going to be different for everybody.
Right.
It's going to be different for everybody. For me, it's going to be what we talked about earlier. I feel good about myself. I literally cannot go to bed without washing my face, taking my makeup off, wash, tone, and moisturize, brushing my teeth, using my water pick. Like I have to do those things every night and every morning. That feels healthy and fulfilling for me.
Right.
Taking the time to get up a little bit earlier this is just me. I don't want to go to work without a full face of makeup. That's just me.
Why is that? We know someone else who's like that too. She won't even go to the gym without it.
But see, that's what fulfills me. That's what makes me feel good about my appearance. So I have no problem going out running errands, no makeup, going to the gym, no makeup. If I'm, things like that, family, home, whatever, no makeup, I'm good. But when I go to work every day, I do put on a full face of makeup. And that's what feels healthy and fulfilling to me. That's what makes me feel good about, it gives me confidence.
Okay.
And so when you have that confidence, you can see it and you can feel it.
You walk a little bit differently.
Oh yeah, it's a vibe. So if I wake up late and I'm not feeling that great, or if I'm, and I maybe don't do as much as I normally, you can feel it in my vibe, man.
Really?
It is not, I don't got that pep in my step. So it makes a difference in how you present yourself, how you're feeling about yourself, and what you're going to put out energy wise into this world and what you're giving to other people, because you're going to get back what you put out.
That is so, so true.
So
that's why the whole idea of thinking from a real positive perspective is, it doesn't come completely natural to me, but it's definitely something that I focus on for that very reason. So I mean, I don't take the time. I've been, as my word this year has been elevate. And so I've been trying to do things a little bit differently. And this has been, we're in the middle of the year now. So I have to remind myself of that. But one of those things was actually putting on makeup. Well, I do wear, but I don't wear nearly as much, because it's like, I'm not going to take the time to do that. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to run into anybody. But it's that same person who I was mentioning before. I can recall we were going to go to a movie or something. And I was like, just, okay, let's go. I mean, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Nobody's there, and full on head and face of makeup, the whole bit. And I'm just like, what are you doing? She goes, you never know who you're going to run into. And I'm just like, I guess I hadn't really thought of it that way. I was just planning on hanging out with you, but okay.
yeah.
So here's the ragamuffin with her friend who's all decked, going to the movie in the dark at 10 o'clock at night or whatever it was. But yeah.
But see, even that therein, if that's what you're cool with, then it's got to be okay.
It is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's okay.
Yeah.
And And in the work that I did before, it was game on every day. I would be dressed for the most part, to the nines. I would have, my hair would be done, my makeup would be done, a whole bit.
I know. I mean, that's where a lot of it
comes from.
For me, probably. I got good at it and being able to do it. I've always enjoyed that even before Nordstrom. I got good at it when I worked there.
Well, and if you think body image stuff, I mean, think back to working at a major retailer. And I mean, I can recall at the time, you know, my daughter being a young teenager, and her body type at the time didn't fit into any of that preteen stuff. She wasn't comfortable in it. She couldn't wear it. It was just awful because you could never shop and figure out what to get from anywhere. It was kind of like shopping for bathing suits for me. It was a disaster. So, but now obviously it's different, but she's so conservative in how she dresses because that's the way she kind of governed herself before. And nothing wrong with her looking conservative. I mean, totally her jam if that's what she wants to do. But like, I got this really cute dress that, I mean, she's basically she's a little bit taller than me, but we can wear the same stuff. And I got this adorable dress and I wanted her to try it on. She goes, oh God, I would never wear that. Because it has like spaghetti straps.
The pink one?
The pink one, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't even tried it on yet. It's going to look so good. But
it's so cute.
Yeah. But I want her to wear it because she's going to look amazing in it.
You know what's interesting is people and how they portray themselves and project themselves. She would look amazing in that dress.
Yep.
I know what dress you're talking about. But I don't see Zoe wearing that dress.
Ever.
No, I don't see that on her.
It's not her style.
Yeah.
She'd have to put a flannel on over it and tie it around her waist or something. But she could pull it off if she wanted to. I guess the point is that she could.
Yeah.
But that's not something back in the day when she was younger that she would have she would never even thought about it. You know, it was all dress for comfort. I'm wearing boys basketball shorts. But those were the things that she was able to comfortably fit in. So her style became more unfitted, I guess, as maybe she didn't wear that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that carried on into her adult years. And now she's obviously pretty fit and everything. And so she can do whatever she wants, but she continues on in the same way.
That's her vibe.
That's her vibe. Yeah. So if that's where she's comfortable, that's totally fine. I'll keep trying to get her in a dress here and there, but
never know. It might happen.
Never know.
Maybe it'll be a wedding dress someday.
Oh, stop. No.
Wink, wink. Just
wink,
kidding,
wink.
Zoe.
Just kidding, Jess. I think that's the generation that probably doesn't believe in getting married, but whatever works for them, right? As long as I get grandkids, I'm fine. So what are some ways to overcome, like we were talking about, the self-body image, the negative self-body image? Is it just focusing on the positive?
I think that's an easy say. Sometimes it could be a hard do, if you know what I mean. But you do need to challenge those negative thoughts if you are able to recognize them.
I think it being a constant reel in your head is tough sometimes for people to turn it off.
And I really think too, it's all about, a lot of it has to do with your confidence in who you are, what you portray, what you feel good about.
Right.
And if you are cool with it in your own skin, just like we were just talking about with Zoe, you know, that is felt. And in the energy that you give off when you're around people. So I think those things also, you know, have to do with how you overcome that negativity, if there is any.
So transitioning from being a child, which is where a lot of these things start, and recognizing what's good and what's not good for your personal well-being, the key piece is trying to figure out how to get kids to the place where they're more confident in themselves before it gets to the point where it's irreversible for them. I don't know the answer to that question.
I think
that really wasn't a question, but you know what I mean?
I think with kids too, and thankfully didn't have girls. So I think girls can I think girls can be more challenging in regard to this.
Okay. So that was an understatement.
Yeah. So I don't know, because I never had any.
You had your boys.
I have 4 boys, but I think with kids asking more questions.
Yeah.
I think asking more questions to them is going to make a difference, instead of, you know, if you're just going to say like your dad, go put whatever he said. What did he say? Because you remember it so well.
You look like a streetwalker. Go put a shirt on or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who says streetwalker anyway?
I know, right? Well,
apparently my dad.
Instead of telling a child what your opinion is, maybe just ask questions like, why do you like that? Tell me about your outfit. Why do you like the way that looks? See what they're thinking about what they have on. I mean, a swimsuit, that's a whole other thing, but just anything.
Well, I've observed over the years where I've been maybe with my girlfriends and we've been out with their parents or whatever. And I've seen my friends wearing bikinis or whatever and being around their dad and their mom and not even a thing.
Yeah.
Like there's no body image issues. There's no body shaming, nothing. You can tell the girl, whoever they are, they're confident in themselves and they're not being shamed by in that circumstance.
I was never allowed to wear a bikini.
Well,
that was a religious thing though.
Oh,
modesty. So of course, when I turned 18, man, what do you think I went and bought? It was hot pink and black tiger print.
Oh my God.
Bikini.
And you just continued on. Yeah.
So yeah, I think a lot of those like hindrances early on was like this motivation to just like go to the whole opposite end of the spectrum and be like, let me show you what.
Yeah. Well, again, going back to that, I think about that, and I'm not really getting anyone specific in my head, but I remember having that feeling where I'm observing, going, wow, those girls don't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They don't feel like they need to put a t-shirt on.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
Because that's always what I did. And I'm sure it was something where it was more noticeable. Kind of like if you went to a nude beach with clothes.
Yeah.
You're who's the person with all the clothes at the nude beach?
Would you be comfortable at a nude beach? Let's just like.
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think I probably would be okay.
I think I'd probably be okay. Because everybody else is going to be nude.
Yeah.
And, actually, I think it'd probably be quite liberating.
I know.
If you think about it.
Do they have any around here?
Just because, I hear there's like some places.
It's not Golden Gardens. Hey, all of you out there,
No.
Golden Gardens is not
a
a
nude
nude
beach.
beach. Okay. But I think that I probably would, like even just skinny dipping and stuff. I'm just so much different about my body now than I was when I was a kid.
So here's the thing too, though. Something that you've talked about that actually I think I need to experience now, just because we're talking about this, is the spa. Isn't there a spa around
the naked
here?
spa, yeah.
See? The naked
Well, that's what
spa.
we call it, but it's Olympus Spa.
But why? So you call it the naked spa because
you're naked. It's like a Korean day spa, and it's all women that are there, and you come in. It's quiet, and you take off your shoes, and you have like a little cubby, and they give you a towel and a little robe and a thing to put on your head for your hair, and that's what you wear in there, but you don't wear the robe or you don't wear the towel when you're walking around, because you're going from different heated pools into the sauna, into the jacuzzi, but you've got the little towel like you can sit on if you're in the...
So I've heard about this spa from you and other people.
Yeah.
I know actually it's quite popular.
Yeah.
And but I say that to say you've got to feel, when you see people and their naked selves, it's not all model looking.
Oh my God, not even close.
That's what I'm saying. You've got to feel quite normal and like, okay, so I guess what I look like is pretty normal.
Exactly. Well, I remember the first time that I went in there, I was like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah.
What am I doing? And I came to realize that the more uncomfortable that I would be, it would be like really obvious there, because by the time you're there for a little while, everybody kind of looks the same to you, because you wear that little hat thing, right? You wear this little, I don't know, like a little bonnet kind of a thing on your hair.
Yeah.
So everybody kind of looks the same.
Yeah.
And there are so many different body shapes, body sizes, people that have had tattoos, people that have scars. It's just,
I actually love that. And when you think about art and the way it used to be and how they portrayed women, in such a the reality of what a woman's body is, yeah. Anyways, I just think there's something to be said for a place like that, and being able to identify and, feel pretty cool about what you got going on.
Yeah, it's actually kind
physically
of a very liberating, I would say a very liberating place, because none of that stuff matters at all. You check any bullshit at the door.
So that's one tip for overcoming body insecurities, right? Go to the naked spa.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Yeah. But interestingly enough, Mary and we go there twice a year for birthdays or whatever. And Zoe would never get caught dead in that place. She's like, don't even think about asking me to go. I will never, ever go. And Mary's daughter, Leah, same thing. She's like, I am not going. That is too weird. Whereas her daughter, Haley, who's a little bit more of a free spirit, she'd be ripping her clothes off before she even walked in the door.
Yeah.
She'd be all over it, you know. And they're all beautiful girls.
Yeah.
So it's just they are all different. They all look different and everything, but they have very different views on what would be okay and not okay. So it just goes back to maybe how they're raised or what they were thinking. I mean, I know that those two girls, Haley and Leah, were raised with really positive images, body images. There was none of that kind of crap in their house.
Yeah.
So, but they have very different views on their bodies and their modesty level, I guess you could say.
I mean, I guess, I don't know what just brought this into my mind, but as we're talking about all these physical things with body image, and I did have 4 boys, but they were half black.
Yeah, that's true.
So definitely a lot of things that impacted and affected them as children, young black men that, a lot of it I didn't even realize till they were much older, because I was always very focused on trying to make them feel that the color of their skin didn't matter.
Right.
And, always trying to make them feel comfortable. It mattered.
Oh, yeah.
It mattered. Regardless of my whitewashed brain was wanting to think, it definitely mattered. And
there's a lot. I mean, this is a rabbit hole topic, I imagine. But
yeah, it is.
As a white woman with blonde hair, you're definitely not going to have a clear idea of all the details of things that they're going through. Yeah. To your point, that's a very, very good point.
So definitely, I was always trying to affirm positive body image with them in regard to their skin color. But I can remember one of my sons wishing to be the same color as me because somebody at school said, at least I'm not the same color as poop.
Oh, wow.
Like that's...
Kids are so shitty.
Yeah. No pun intended.
Oh, that wasn't on purpose.
Yeah. But I know. Body image stuff comes in all forms for sure.
I think
can be affected.
I think as we have matured in age, it's not something that necessarily completely goes away. At least for me, it has not completely gone away. And I can recall early on with my daughter in particular, it's like not wanting her to experience the things that would give her a negative body image, but I could have created more problems because of it. Trying to help her with that.
Right.
And in doing it in a way where I'm eating health. Like my mom never talked about that stuff. We just did it.
Yeah.
Whereas here it was kind of like we had to talk about
when
it.
You're going out of your way. And I get that. That makes sense.
But even evolving into a more mature adult, or adults, I should say, like we are, you still see all that kind of stuff. But there's definitely times now where I'm just like, you know what? Take it as it is, or kiss my ass.
Yeah.
But you're right. When you feel good, when you're wearing something that you love, when you're, hair done, makeup done, nails done, everything done, you feel good. It's fun. You feel good. So
you fancy, huh?
You fancy, girl. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nails done, nair done, everything did.
Yep. But everybody has a different version of what that looks like.
Yeah.
So I have to look back and just respect that everybody's kind of got a different journey on that one.
I think we just need to, in regard to this, really be mindful of, you say sticks and stones can break my bones, but words,
But they do hurt.
But they do.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to be mindful of that, whether it's a child, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a family member, all of the things, and for so many different reasons.
Right.
You know, we need to just not be so selfish. And, you know, while we're thinking of ourselves, we need to be mindful because we don't know what other people are going through.
Well, and not to mention the fact that our experience doesn't necessarily dictate what their experience needs to be.
Exactly.
Or now we're in a position where we've got people in our audience who are a variety of ages, but some are raising their own children.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting to have children of their own, or they're going to have children. These are all things that nobody really thinks about as they're starting to rear children, and, you know, the type of environment you want to rear them in and the things that you want to make important. We never talked about that kind of stuff. I mean, nowadays, I think people maybe talk about it more, but we're going to have grandparents that are going to be dealing with their grandchildren. And you know, if they want to have pizza for dinner every night, it's like, how are you going to manage that? Because you don't want to feed the kid pizza every night if you don't want them to eat unhealthy every night, right? So you've got to figure out how to balance some of those things out so they don't feel like you're saying that because you think they're fat.
Right.
Or going to get fat or whatever. I don't know. But it's a very delicate topic.
Yeah, for sure.
So how about helping friends that we know, or people that we know, or people that our audience might know? How do we help people that have some of these traumas or issues in their life, besides just being complimentary of them or encouraging? Is there anything else we can be doing?
Well, I think it's important to, you know, make them realize and understand that you're interested in other things, things that are going on in their life that are not related to their body. I think a good way to approach it might be to challenge and reframe negative thinking, negative discussions. Not saying that you're trying to go against what people are saying, but maybe help them to think about it in a different way. Or do things that have to do with self-care.
Yes.
Like together.
Yeah.
Do things together.
Yeah.
That have to do with self-care.
It's just developing some of those habits that I think directly lead into developing the confidence. And it doesn't have to be someone who is a young child or a teenager. It can be an adult as well.
Mm-hmm. Be a good listener.
You're really good at that.
I am a good listener.
You are a really good listener. And I must say, it's like when we're talking about body image and stuff, I would say you are one person who just is got it going on. And I'm saying this, and you're going to say... You're going to be positive and say, thank you, Julie. I really appreciate that compliment. But you do. You rock whatever you wear. You always look, you know, you always have yourself put together and you look cute. And even when you're like on your days that you're not like making all that extra effort, you still look cute. So I don't know. I have friends that are, you know, they constantly look cute. So I'm looking at them going, how do you get your lipstick to stay?
You know, it's a vibe.
It is.
It is a vibe.
So surround yourself with good vibey people. You might pick up some of that vibe.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, do you have anything else you want to share?
You know, just believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Feel yourself. Take care of yourself. Know that what other people say isn't necessarily about who you really are. So you need to own your own shit. Mm-hmm. You need to take care of yourself and really feel that you've got it going on. And if you don't know how, try and figure that out. And you should be surrounding yourself with people that positively lift you up, impact you in that positive way.
And I would say also to be very patient with yourself.
Yes.
Because
give yourself grace.
If you have a reel in your head that's been going for the last several years of your life, you know, you're an adult now or what have you, and that reel is playing the same crap over and over again. You're not wearing the right clothes, or, you know, you're too big, or you have cellulite on your legs, or your boobs are slaggy, or whatever. You know, we all have those problems, obviously.
Oh man,
I came up with those so easily. But it's like, give yourself a break, you know, be patient with yourself, because it takes a long time to break some of those patterns in how you think, in what you do, in how you speak, whatever the issue is that you're trying to address. It really takes time and it takes practice to do
More
that.
cushion to the pushing.
What the heck was that?
You were talking about cellulite. I was like, cushion to the pushing. No, it's just like, yeah, like,
I mean, we're our own worst critics, right?
You just got to find the positive things. Like, baby doll, you got more to hang on to than that. You know,
I wonder who said that to her.
Somebody at some point.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but there's positives in all of that stuff. Is what I'm just trying to point out. You know, so life is too short to get caught up on
the things that aren't really as meaningful.
The things that aren't meaningful in the
long run.
Yeah, for sure, in the long run. So that's really it.
Well, I am thrilled we actually got to chat on this topic, and I think we could probably go deeper on a lot of these, and perhaps those will be for another day. But we appreciate everybody listening. And when you walk away from this, think about how you talk to yourself. What kind of reel is going in your head when you're getting ready in the morning, and what you're saying externally and internally to the people around you that you love. Because whatever you say, if you have an impact on them, could definitely impact how they perceive themselves for the rest of their lives. Not too heavy, I hope.
That was a little heavy.
Okay, it was a little heavy.
But that's all right. It's a heavy topic.
Be careful what you say, because you could screw someone up.
Yeah.
That's another way to say it. Anyway.
All right, everybody. Please check us out on our social platforms. We're on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We also have an email, a blonde, a brunette, and a mic at gmail.com. We would love to get your feedback. And if you're enjoying listening to us, please share the fact that you do enjoy listening to us. Share us with your friends. Tell them about us, and, let somebody else enjoy us too.
Yeah, we're actually really kind of paying attention to our listenership and the increase in our listenership. And we appreciate people really kind of sharing the message. We talk about a lot of things, and we are very open to different topics that we think you might be interested in. So please feel free to share, good, bad, or ugly, good, bad, or indifferent. We're cool with whatever. So until next time, we will, I guess, chat with you soon.
Thanks for listening.
All right, you guys, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.